Hello guys, what's up and welcome to the new tutorial from the SketchUpArchStudio. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can use Enscape for SketchUp. This tutorial is completely suitable for beginners because we will talk about all important basic knowledge about Enscape for SketchUp. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use Enscape 3.5.6. You can see it in here, 3.5.6. And I'm going to talk about how we can walk, run, change the time of the day, rendering, and material setting. So first of all, I'm going to start my job with the Enscape plugin. As you can see, we can move it in here and we can close it. If you want to appear it in your SketchUp toolbar, you can right click and check out the Enscape in here. So you can move it and drag it in this place. And if you click on the general setting, you can see some important setting about your rendering. First of all, network. Network is really important, so be careful you are connected. We have preferences. It's related to the language and some other things, but most important and valuable part of this general setting is rendering. When you click on the rendering, if you use RTX graphic cards, you can turn on all of these three amazing options. All of them will help you to create some mesmerizing and hyper-realistic renders in any type of projects. But unfortunately, I use GTX 1050 and I don't have any RTX. So if you have RTX on your computer, you can turn all of these three options on. NVIDIA Global Illumination Denoiser or GI Denoiser. If you use Enscape for the first time, maybe it's turned off for you. You can turn it on very simple and easy. Auto resolution, auto upsampling, and grass or rest mode is not really important, so don't touch them. I'm going to close it in here, Ctrl S. And before I start Enscape, I can talk about these important windows. First of all, Enscape objects. You can click on the Enscape objects and add some multiple lights plus multiple sounds in your area. In the Enscape asset library, you can see some high quality 3D assets and objects for yourself in different categories. For example, animals or furniture. And all of them need internet. So all of them are free with a high super quality for you, and you can use them in interior or exterior renderings. Next item is the Enscape material library. You can turn it on and you have bricks, concrete, fabrics, glass, grounds, metal, and then the wood. For example, like this. And if you click on one of them and click on the import selection, you can add it to your SketchUp Paint bucket in here. In the in-model materials, I do all of these materials before this tutorial, so you can do it by your own. I'm going to click on the Enscape material editor, and now when you click on one of these materials, for example, construct panels, you can see some multiple options like height map, reflection, transparency, and some other things like that, and all of them are important at their place. So I'm going to start my job with the start Enscape. So I'm going to click on the start Enscape in here. It takes a little bit time because it depends on your graphic card and computer configuration. And after that, you can see your environment in the real-time visualizing mode. Very simple and easy. So it's a start like that, and you can see the changes in here. So I'm going to talk about navigations first of all, and after that I'm going to talk about how we can create some realistic renders. So I'm going to click on the visual setting in here, reset all of my settings because I have some previous settings before this tutorial. So I'm going to reset all of them like that. When you click on displays, you can reset your job very simple and easy. I'm going to reset all the options because I want to teach you all of important points about rendering. Alright. When you use Enscape for the first time, if you click on the visual setting, all of these settings like my computer and my window. So as you can see, we have this environment and we want to render this realistic project. So I'm gonna start my job with the navigation keys. When I press W, I can move forward, and press S, I can go backward. A go to the left side and D go to the right side. So if I want to left click and hold it and drag it, I can look around like that. And if I want to orbit or rotate in my project, I can hold right click and move my cursor, something like this. Very simple and easy. So if you want to walk in your environment much faster, you can hold shift. And if you want to go like a train, you can hold shift and control at the same period of time plus your navigation keys. So if you press H on your keyboard, you can see all the basic guides in here. When I press E, I will go to the upside, and when I press Q, I will fly down. When I press space, I can walk, and you can see the title of it in here, walk mode. And if I press space another time, it will change to the wings, and it means that you can fly or pass the different type of surfaces like that, very simple and easy. But when you are in the walk mode, when I press space, and I will face with this wall and I can't pass it out. So it's really important point in here. About some other options like panning, you can hold the scroll like this. And if you hold left click, you can look around, RMB, orbit, and some other things. Sometimes you need to change the time of the day, so it's really important for you to know how you can do this job. First of all, you need to hold shift on your keyboard. I hold shift and I'm gonna hold my right click. So I hold both of them at the same time, and now if I move my cursor, I can change the time of the day, very simple and easy. For example, maybe night mode, something like that, or daylight mode, something like this. All of them related to you and your client's taste. So in the advanced mode, you have escape, move faster, much faster, and the standard views. The standard views helps you to create some different type of sections in some special projects. When I press 5 or 4 from my numpad key, you can see the changes very simple. I'm going to press 4, 6, 2, 8, 5 from the top view. And I think it's really great for a matter rendering in Enscape Chaos. So solar angle related to your sun direction and sun angle. So I'm going to hold Control plus U, and you can see the changes of the sun in the sky. Sun in here right now. And if I hold Control plus U and I can change the time of the day. U and I means that you on your keyboard or your eye. So about the solar angle, if I want to hold Shift plus U and I can see the changes, and it's exactly like the time of the day, don't have any special differences. For example, something like this. And everything is done. If you press Home key on your keyboard, all of the sun setting will be reset for you. So I'm going to close it in here. So now we know about that, how we can move or walk or run in our environment. I'm going to start my job with here. And we have some realistic soil texture in here. These textures related to the Enscape library, and you can see it's amazing. All the displacement map, intensity, and all the realistic settings affected on it. And this is the plaster. So I'm gonna press a space. Now I'm in the walk mode. I'm gonna go a little bit far from it. And if I click on the Enscape asset library, And if I'm gonna click on this option in here called categories and change it to the vegetation, we have 920 vegetations completely free with the highest quality. So I changed my category to the vegetation, and now time for changing tags. I'm going to click on these option in here called tags, and I'm going to check out trees. Now I only see different type of trees for my project. So I'm going to select one of these good detailed and fine trees for my project. It takes a little bit time because it's a little bit depends on your mood. I think this one is really good. So I'm going to select it and move it in here. I'm going to left click on it, select it, click on the select option, and click on the apply changes. And now we have one tree in our environment. You can see the detail, and I only can say that details are really mesmerizing. You can see it affected by the wind, and you can adjust it at the next of it. So I adjust this tree in here, and if I click on it, and if I click on the rotate option, I can rotate it very simple. So if I click on the move option, I can move it very simple. It's completely easy and depends on you. I'm going to click on the apply changes. Another time I'm going to select this tree in here, this one, and add it to my environment. I'm going to click on the selection tool, select it, click on the scale option in here, and you can rescale your tree much easier than the past time. I'm going to rescale it about 90%. I'm going to click on the rotate option like that, and I'm going to click on the apply changes. So everything is done for us, and now I can adjust more assets for my job. So I'm going to click on the tags option, turn off the trees in here, and now I'm going to turn on the bushes. So I need some small bushes for my job, something like that. Click on the selection tool, and I'm gonna rescale it like that. Move it a little bit in the center point and click on the apply changes. So you can see it helps you to cover some special details in your job, and you can adjust some other type of bushes in this place. And you can see the changes. It's really wonderful. I'm going to select another one in here, for example, and click on the apply changes. So I cover my tree like that, and I'm going to do this job for this one, but this time I can click on it, SketchUp, close this option in here, and select these bushes in here and take another copy in this place. Very simple. You can see the changes in here. So it's really enjoyable when you work with Enscape because it's easy and friendly user interface. So I'm going to maximize the Enscape another time, move near to my pool in here, and you can see the water movement in your job. So if you want to change your materials, you have multiple ways, but I'm going to talk about one of the most famous ways. So I'm going to click on it in here, minimize it, Enscape in the right side and SketchUp in the left side. So I'm going to click on the Enscape material editor in here, water pool light in this place. So I can see some multiple changes on my surface, but it's a little bit low. So if I check out the override wind setting and increase the intensity, when I move like that, you can see the changes on your water. And the speed of it gets much more than the other times. So intensity of the wind will help you to create realistic renders, but right now I'm going to type 8%. About the wave setting, if I increase the height option, you can see it's like that this water will be pulled out from the pool option. So maybe 36 is good for us, but if I rescale my job I will have some clear water in here and I can see the environment's reflection on it, like that. And if I turn the height to the 0, we have completely super calm water in here. So I prefer to use this one right now for some reasons. Cosmetic intensity related to the sunlight brightness on your water surface. I'm going to increase it as I can. For example, 84 really useful. And I'm going to click on the water color. For example, if I select dim gray, I can add some dim gray tint for my water and it's really good. And if I click on some special blue cayenne, I can see this water. I prefer to use this color because it's really special right now. So about another material, for example, this construct panel, I can click on it and increase the intensity. And you can see the changes in your material in this place. When I increase the intensity to the 200, it's completely like the one gap and cut. So 98 is enough for us. And about the roughness, when I decrease the roughness, you can see more reflection on your surface like that. Look at these edges in here. It helps you when you want to create some rainy mode renders. But I don't suggest it for some hard surfaces or materials. 44% is enough. Metallica is not important. And for example, if you want to talk about another material, for example, we can talk about this wood planks in here. I can click on the wood planks and decrease the roughness to the 0 and I can see complete reflection of it. You can see some displacements in your texture, so it's not really good for us right now for some architectural reasons. So you can decrease the normal map intensity from 106 to the 44%. Now it's much better and you can see more better clear reflection on your surface. If this color a little bit saturated for you, you can use image fade and fade up your material and tint color will affect on it. But right now I think 92% is enough. Roughness is about 12 and I think everything is good. But sometimes you need to add some hidden lights for your job. In these cases, listen carefully. I'm going to click on the light texture on my Enscape material editor. This is the creamy light in here. It's on the generic mode. So if I click on it and change it to the self-illuminated, it will convert to the hidden light. And it's really helpful for your 3D designing projects, especially at nights. About self-illuminated, all other material setting not really important and effective. And final changes related to this part of my job about this plaster or concrete. So I'm going to click on the concrete in here, but I can't find this material throughout these materials. For this reason, I'm going to open the paint bucket in the SketchUp, click on the sample paint, pick it up, construct 05 printed is my material. So I can click on it and reduce this texture number. For example, the height of it about, for example, 0.6. And now we have better details of our job. So all of them related to the materials, you can play with them and learn how they can work in different situations. Now time for the rendering. So I'm going to press F in my Enscape viewport, click on the create view, or you can open the view management and click on the create view. It doesn't matter. It completely depends on you. Which one is easier for you? Do it. Very simple and easy. CAD view name is Enscape scene 1. I'm going to change it to the camera 01. Camera 01. And I'm going to press enter. So camera 01 created for us, and when I click on it I can see this sun setting and all details. Very simple. So I'm going to click on the edit viewport and I want to select my viewport carefully. So I need some type of viewport like that, for example, something like this, maybe in this case. I'm going a little bit to the backside like that. My X position is my X coordination in a SketchUp. So 15.4 is good, and you can see small changes when you adjust them. Y option or Y option is related to your eye height. When I change it to the 1, it goes down, and when I change it to the 3, it goes upside. So it completely depends on you. 1.6 is the standard number. Pitch is related to our camera orientation. For example, when I look to the upside, pitch will be increased for me. And when I look to the downside, pitch will be get to the negative numbers. So if you want some straight shot rendering, you can change the pitch to the 0 and press enter. Now you have some super straight camera shots. Or if you want to change it to some more option, I prefer to use some exact numbers. For example, 6 degree. It helps you to manage your frame much better. And the option related to the camera rotation, I prefer to use 48. Enscape some position is really important, so I'm going to change it by my hand. I prefer to use some type of near to the sunrise, like this, for example, something like this. And I'm going to hold Control plus U and I can change the time of the day. Very simple and easy. I like to have these type of shadows in my job, so I prefer to use this type of angle, something like that. I think it's really good, and I can see some shadows in my job. It completely depends on you and your taste, but I prefer to use something like that, for example. So in the azimuth, I will set it out to the 60 and altitude is about 9, and I'm going to press save. Camera number 1 completely created for us professionally. So I'm going to start my job with the save frame and click on the projection and change it to the 2-point perspective. It helps you to manage your shot much better. I'm going to click on the visual setting, move it a little bit to the right side, and start my job with the field of view. I'm going to reduce the field of view in some place like that because I need to catch my pool frame. So 72 is good. I'm going to click on the auto exposure and re-expose my screen manually about 54%. I'm going to turn on the depth of field, turn off the autofocus, and play with the focal point. When I click on the focal point, you can see some bright line and shiny line in my Enscape environment. It means that which place you want to focus on it. I want to focus on my house design, especially these doors and details. So I'm going to click on these edge in here. It calls edge line, and it really helps you in your framing. And if I increase the depth of field, look at these trees in here. When I increase the depth of field, all of them will be get to the blurriness. And I only have this place as a sharp point in my render. So depth of field is about 12%, like that. And focal point is about 12 meter. So autofocus don't touch it, but outline is really help you to create some animational renders. When I increase the outline, you can see some sketches in your render, and it really helps you in different projects and different presentations. But I prefer to use 4% in here. About the image bar, I'm going to use auto contrast. And if you need some warm render, you can decrease color temperature. Look at your render. When I decrease the color temperature, it go to the yellow bar rendering. And when I increase it, it will get to the cold render. I prefer to use some number about 6000 Kelvin. Saturation is a little bit can be higher, 102 for example. Motion blur is 0. Lens flare is not really effective in here. So blue option is about 10. Lens flare is about 40. And vignette option. If you want to add some dark effect in your camera, you can increase the vignette about 74. Chromatic aberration is 0. Click on the atmosphere. I don't need any type of special fog. Sun brightness. When I decrease the sun brightness to the 0, you can see what's really happening in our job. So it's not really good and you need a little bit sun for your renders. 36% is good, but you can reset it to the 80. In the image bar, I think vignette is too high, so I'm going to change it to the 40. Click on the atmosphere. Night sky not really effective right now, and you don't need to learn about it, but shadow sharpness. Look at these trees shadow on this wall. If I increase the shadow sharpness as I can, it will completely get sharp shadows, and I like these type of shadows because it's really interesting. So I'm gonna hold it on 100. Artificial light brightness is about this self-illuminated lights, but right now it's not really effective because we have daylight. But I'm gonna increase it to the 112. Ambient brightness related to your interior renders, I don't want to talk about it. And wind option. Look at these three. When I increase the wind option, trees will be moved for us, and it shows that how wind option can help us and affect on our animations. But it's not effective on your renders. So if you want to render your job, turn it off. Click on the skybox, and most important part is this part. So look at your sky in here. When I increase the density, I can create some cloudy weather very simple and easy. But if I decrease it, my sun will get more. And if I increase the variety, you can see some multiple various differences in your clouds. Cirrus amount is about small clouds, so you can increase them and it can affect you and your sky like that. Contrails related to airplanes, and you can see some airplanes footprints on the sky. I prefer to turn it to the 0. Density is about 40 or maybe 48. Variety is about 0. Size amount 0. And now if I turn clouds to the 0, this will happen. So it completely depends on you how you want to show your job. It's a little bit oversaturated and maybe it's not really realistic in some cases. So I prefer to use a little bit density only for making my render a little bit realistic, not too artificial. So size amount about maybe 84 and density is about, for example, 44. And now it's much better and normal. So I can click on the latitude, change the cloud's direction, something like that in front of my camera is good. And if I change the latitude, I can completely change them on the sky like this. So it completely depends on you and what you want from your render. So another time I'm going to set them out to find the best type of clouds for my job. I think something like that is acceptable. And I'm gonna move it a little bit like that, for example. 4046 meter is good and 6198 is good. So about the source option, it's related to your HDRI and I have some video about HDRIs. You can watch it in the end of this video. So it's not really important. About the output, I'm going to change the resolution on the Ultra HD. Click on the main bar, and if I increase the rendering quality to the Ultra, another time Enscape will calculate all of the lights and important things for your render. So finalizing is over, and now I want to render my job. Before I do this job, I'm going to click on the Enscape library in here. click on these tags in here, vegetation. I'm gonna click on the trees in here, like that. And I'm gonna select another type of tree for my project because it's really effective on my job. I think another time I can select this one because it's really have some good details. Sometimes you have some multiple variant objects. For example, if you click on it, one out of two variants, it means that you can select second form of it. I'm gonna adjust it in here. Click on the apply changes, and it showed the differences like that. So it completely depends on you, and most of the time it's related to what you want from your render. I'm going to move it a little bit in here and rotate it. Click on the apply changes, and I'm going to press F, camera, and it's good. It helps you to manage your shots much professional. Sorry about some wrong spells. I get a little bit tired, so I think everything is good. Click on the Enscape asset library in here. And last option I want to talk about it for beginners is about Enscape multi-asset placement. So listen carefully because it's real easy. I'm going to click on this option in here. And we have three type of selection. I'm going to click on the rectangular selection in here, and I need to change my camera angle like that. Sorry, like this. And I'm going to select one of these places from there to maybe someplace like that. So I select these rectangle box in here, and I can increase the width of it or height of it. If you can't see it, I'm gonna go a little bit near to my job. So you can see this rectangle in here with these orange dots and nodes. So if I click on the width option, you can see the changes very simple and easy. I prefer to move it a little bit to this place and this one to this place. So I want to add some different type of bushes and flowers for my job, but I don't know how. So I'm going to click on the category, vegetation, change the tags to the flowers, and I'm going to select one of these flowers. For example, maybe some flower which is different from the others about colors and tone of the color. For example, this one. And you can see some type of them generated for us. If I increase the density, this screen will be completely full for me with these flowers. And I can continue this rectangle to some place like that. So it's really good, and it's really helps us if we want to create some professional renderings. If I click on the regenerate, it will generate in different forms and rotations. And if I reduce the width of my job, I can see it will get much lower. So if I click on the confirm placement and apply changes, these flowers will be generated for me like that. So it's really helpful in your urban design renders and urbanization projects. So I'm going to close it in here, press F, camera 01, 2-point perspective. And for the last option, I think everything is done and time for the rendering. So I'm going to click on the screenshot in here and save it on my desktop and call it render for beginners. Sorry, beginners, and press enter. It takes a little bit time, and after that Enscape will generate some super realistic render for you, very simple and easy. This tutorial is really useful for people who want to start their 3D visualizing jobs with SketchUp plus Enscape, because I guarantee how Enscape can be flexible in your different projects and conditions, especially in urban design and architectural projects. If this content is useful for you, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel and comment your opinion about next tutorials. What do you want to learn about Enscape and rendering, or which type of motor renders you like to learn? And I will see all of your comments, reply all of your comments, and ask all of your questions about rendering. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your support. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Have a nice day and goodbye.